Hello and welcome to Daily Current Affairs by Neo IAS. So today on 10th September 2019, our topics for discussion are marginal cost of funds based lending rate, then Indian Post Payment Bank, World Trade Organization, Egalavia Model Residential Schools, Current Affair Capsule, Map-Aided Program and the previous year question revision series. So, first topic that is marginal cost of funds based lending rate. So, the news is that the State Bank of India, which is known as the country's largest lender, actually they reduced its benchmark lending rate, that is the MCLR, by 10 basic points. Okay, so this is the news. So, talking about the marginal cost of fund based lending rate, the MCLR, usually this MCLR, it refers to the minimum interest rate of a bank below which it cannot lend. Okay, but exceptions are given in some cases which are allowed by the RBI. So, hence as a whole we can say it's an internal benchmark, or we can say a reference rate for the bank. Okay. So, this MCLR actually it describes the method by which the minimum interest rate for loan it is determined by a bank. So, it is on the basis of marginal cost, or we can say additional or even the incremental cost of arranging one more rupee to the prospective borrower. Clear? So, next you have to know regarding the main components of MCLR. So, the main components of MCLR, they are the, we will discuss each terms. Okay, so first one is the negative carry on account of CRR. So, it is the cost, actually it is the cost that the banks have to incur while keeping the reserves with the RBI. Okay. Then the next term, it is the operating cost. So, the operating cost, the name is itself suggests it is the operating expenses incurred by the banks. Okay. The next one is the tenor premium. So, this tenor premium, it denotes that higher interest can be charged from long-term loans. Okay. The next term is the marginal cost of funds. So, this marginal cost of funds, it is the novel element of the MCLR. And this marginal cost of funds, it will comprise of the marginal cost of borrowings and return on net worth. Okay, so it comprises of both borrowings and return on net worth. Clear? Then, according to the RBI, the marginal cost, it should be charged on the basis of following factors. Okay, so the RBI, it says some factors. So, they are the interest rate given for various types of deposits, that means savings, then current deposit, term deposit, or even the foreign currency deposit. Okay. Then the other factor it is regarding the borrowings. That means the borrowings, that means short term interest rate or the repo rate or long term rupee borrowing rate. Clear? And another factor is a return on net worth, that means in accordance with the capital adequacy norms. Clear? Then you have to know how this MCLR can be determined. So, this MCLR usually it is determined largely by the marginal cost of funds, that means especially by the deposit rate and by the repo rate. Okay. So, you have to remember is that any change in the repo rate, it can bring or it brings changes in the marginal cost, and hence the MCLR should also be changed. That you have to keep in mind. Okay. Then, here you can see the basic difference between the base rate and the MCLR. So, we know the base rate, usually it is calculated on average cost of funds, whereas the MCLR, it is based on marginal or incremental cost of funds. The second difference is that the base rate, it is calculated by considering the minimum rate, that means minimum rate of return or profit margin, whereas the MCLR, it is calculated by considering tenor premium. Okay, and this base rate, you know, the base is, it is also governed by operating expenses and the expenses needed to maintain cash reserve ratio. Whereas the MCLR, it is also determined by considering deposit rates and repo rates along with the operating cost and cost of maintaining the CRR. Okay, so these are the basic difference between base rate and MCLR. Then, that's all regarding the first topic. Our second topic is Indian Post Payments Banks. So, the news is that the Indian Post Payment Bank, it announces rollout of Aadhaar enabled payment services at the first anniversary of its business operations. This is the basic news. So, talking about this Indian Post Payment Bank, you know, it was established under the Department of Post, that means Ministry of Communication, with 100% equity which is owned by the Government of India. Okay. So, you know, this IPPB, it was launched by the Honorable Prime Minister on September 1st, 2018. Okay, so it has been 1 year since it was launched. So, this bank, it has been set up with the vision to build the most accessible or even the affordable and trusted bank for the common man in India. Okay. So, the fundamental mandate of IPPB is to remove all the barriers for unbanked and underbanked and to reach the last mile leveraging the postal network, which is comprising of approximately 1,55,000 post office. That means nearly 1,35,000 in rural areas and 3 lakh postal employees. Okay. Then, here you have to know regarding the payment bank. Okay. So, you know, the payment bank was established to provide the payments or the remittance, that means remittance services to migrant labor workforce or to lower income households, or we can say to small business and other unorganized sector entities. So, the Nachiket More Committee, it recommended the creation of payment bank, that you have to remember, Nachiket More Committee. So, the India's first payment bank was launched by the Airtel, and this payment bank, it can offer all the services that a commercial bank offers. Okay. And it can take deposits up to 1 lakh per account, and it can issue debit cards but not credit cards. That also you have to remember. Then another peculiar feature is that it cannot lend. Okay. And it has to maintain a particular or it has to maintain cash reserve ratio. And our RBI, it has mandated the minimum paid up equity capital for payment bank at 100 crore. Okay. So, what happened? These entities, they have to invest a minimum 75% of demand deposit balances in SLR. That means which are eligible government securities or treasury bills which are having a maturity of up to 1 year. Okay. And it can hold a maximum of 25% in current and fixed deposits with other commercial banks for operational purposes and liquidity management. Okay. So, that's about this payment bank. Then, our next topic is World Trade Organization. So, the news is that in a welcome judgment for India, a WTO panel in June, it accepted its claim in a dispute which is concerning US regulations on domestic content requirement in the production of renewable energy. So, this is the news. So, talking about the World Trade Organization, you know, WTO, it is the only global international organization which is dealing with the rules of trade between nations. We know that. So, we can say its main function is to ensure that trade flows as smoothly and predictably and freely as possible. Okay, so currently our WTO, it has 164 members, and this WTO, it was commenced on 1st January 1995 under the Marrakesh Agreement, which is signed by 124 nations. Okay. So, it came into existence replacing the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, which is commenced in 1948. You know that. Okay. Then this WTO, currently it functions as per the consensus principle under which multilateral trade negotiations are conducted, which is known as the single undertaking framework. Okay. And here you have to remember that the its secretariat is located in Geneva in Switzerland. Okay. Then next you have to know regarding the objectives of WTO. So the main objective is to raise the living standards, then ensure full development, ensure large and steadily growing volume of real income and effective demand. So these are the main objectives of World Trade Organization. Okay. So let's move to our next topic, that is Ekalavya Model Residential School. So the news is that our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he will inaugurate 400 Ekalavya Model Residential School. So the basic aim of this Ekalavya Model Residential School is to provide quality upper primary, then secondary and senior secondary level education to ST students in tribal dominated areas. Okay, this is its main aim. Then, so let's see in detail regarding the Ekalavya Model Residential School. So the central government has proposed of setting up this Ekalavya Model Residential School under the Ministry of Tribal Affairs in its budget 2018-19. So here you have to remember the ministry, that's Ministry of Tribal Affairs. So what happens? Every block with more than 50% of scheduled tribe population and at least 20,000 tribal persons, they will have an Ekalavya Model Residential School by the year 2022. Okay. And also there will be an autonomous society under the same ministry, that is Ministry of Tribal Affairs. We can say which is similar to Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti to run the schools. Okay. And as I said, its basic objective is to provide quality education. That means quality middle and high level education to ST students in remote areas. And also it focuses differentially on the educational support to be made available to those students in standards +1 and +2 and those in standard 6 to 10, so that their distinctive needs can be met. Okay, so these are the basic objectives of Ekalavya School. And talking about its structure, the admission to these schools, it will be through what we can say, a selection or a competition with suitable provision and preference to children belonging to primitive tribal group or first generation students. Okay, and here the sufficient land would be given by the state government for the school, then for playground, for hostel and residential purposes. And the number of seats for boys and girls, it will be equal, and in these schools education will be entirely free. Okay, that's also you have to remember, education will be free here. Then next you have to remember its background. So these are some values. So if you go through this, it will be beneficial for you to write the main answer actually. So this scheduled tribes, basically, you know, it constitutes approximately 8.6% of the country's total population and 11.3% of the total rural population. Okay, and what happens? Despite the increase in the literacy rate among the scheduled tribes, that is from 8.53% in 1961 to 58.96% in 2001, significant disparities still exist. That is in the areas of enrollment rates, then we can say dropouts, then dropouts across states, districts and even blocks. Okay, and in the case of tribals, the dropout rates are still very high, that is 35.6% in classes 1 to 5, 55% in 1 to 8 and 70% or more than that in classes 1 to 10 according to 2010-11 reports. Okay. So here you have to remember that the Indian Human Development Survey, it shows the incidence of poverty, it is the highest among STs, that is 49.6%, and in SC it is 32.3% and in Muslims it is 30.6%. Okay, so this is the value which is given by the Indian Human Development Survey. Clear? And today in current affair capsule, we have got a topic that is Ankan. So the news is that a 3-day international conference on energy efficiency in building sector, it begins in New Delhi. Okay. So this conference, it is being organized by the BEE, that is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. It is coming under the Ministry of Power, under Government of India, in collaboration with GIZ. Okay. So here the international conference, it will provide a platform to deliberate or what we can say interdependence between organization, then systemic sustainability and feedback loops for better resource efficiency. Okay. So here you have to remember its concerned ministry, then where it was held and it was organized by which organization. That's all you have to remember here. And today in MapEd program, we will be continuing with the World Heritage Site, and in that we will be continuing with our natural site, that is Sundarban National Park. So you know it is situated on the Sundarban Delta, and we know Sundarban Delta, it is the largest delta in the world. And it is formed by the river Ganges in the Bay of Bengal, and it is located in the Indian state of West Bengal. So it consists of approximately 10,200 square kilometer of mangrove forest, which is spread over India and Bangladesh. Okay. So the part of forest within the Indian territory, it is called the Sundarban National Park, and is in the southern part of West Bengal. Okay. So the forest, it has got a large number of Sundari trees. And you know, this Sundarban National Park is famous for Royal Bengal tigers, and the Sundarban National Park is known as a tiger reserve, and it is also a biosphere reserve. And it is, as I said, it is a home to the Royal Bengal tigers and other species such as Gangetic dolphin, spotted deer, then wild boar. They also exist here. Okay. And a rare saltwater crocodile is another attraction of this reserve. So as a whole, we can say the tiger population of India, it is the maximum in this location, and also it is one of the largest reserves in India, covered mostly by the dense mangrove forest. So it's a tiger reserve and it has got a dense collection of mangrove forest. All this you have to remember, and it is the largest delta. Clear? And here you can see the location of Sundarban National Park. It is located in West Bengal. Clear? So in the last class, we were dealing with Kelidio National Park, and I asked you to find out the earlier name or the former name of Kelidio National Park. So many of you have commented. So the right answer is the Kelidio National Park was formerly, it was known as the Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. Okay. So today you have to find out the year in which the Sundarban National Park was declared as a World Heritage Site by the UNESCO. Okay. And please comment the answer in the comment section. Okay. So today in Prelims question revision series, your question is between India and East Africa. Okay. The navigation time and distance, it can be greatly reduced by which of the following? And you have given two options. They are: one, deepening the Malacca Strait between Malaysia and Indonesia, and option 2, opening a new canal across the Kra Isthmus between the Gulf of Siam and Andaman Sea. So these are the options. So which of the statement given above is or are correct? And option A, 1 only, B, 2 only, C, both 1 and 2, and D, neither 1 nor 2. So let's take both options one by one. So here let's see the second statement. That means the opening a new canal in Kra Isthmus. So it can reduce the navigation time and distance. Okay. So the statement 2, it is a right statement. Then let's move to the first statement in this question. Actually, it requires an explanation. That is, please note that the Malacca Strait, it is the main shipping channel between Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, and it links India, China, Japan and South Korea. Okay. So the issue of deepening of the Malacca Strait, it is linked to its economic importance rather than the time of navigation and distance. Okay. So it is depending on its economic importance. So the issue is that most of the ships, they cannot pass through this because of its size. So and the size of the biggest ships which can enter through this region is called as Malacca marks. Okay. So now the deepening of the strait, it would help in increasing the volume of the business, because what happens? Large number of ships are moving through this region. But there is no significance in between the distance and navigation. Okay, so basically it is for economic importance rather than the time of navigation and distance. Okay, so the statement 1 is incorrect. Hence, our answer will be B, that is 2 only. So, our answer is B. So, guys, that's all for today's session. So, if you have any doubt, please comment it in the comment section. Thank you for listening.